we had a small committee that worked with the Dolphin Gallery on selecting paintings that were by local artists. And this, I think, became available. It was not originally part of the set we had, but we wanted to marry something rather than just buy something off the shelf. We very much wanted to have something that would fit and would hold the space. And Warren is a distinguished professor at the Art Institute, has many students, and it was perfect in terms of having something that was give energy, activate the space. So this was a class addition new to the space, and then we did a lot of what you were mentioning with the library garage, and that is use large format graphics. It's something that was both normal but also extraordinary. In this case, it's a scan of white matter in a brain, and if you read the text, it's about that tissue that creates consciousness. This was very late in Bingham's career, and he made it as a political manifesto. Bingham himself is a fascinating man, and it is both classical but also visionary, especially with the inclusion of the African Americans who are being shunned by this whole, especially by of all people, the Union forces. So it is a really great story. I kid people to say that this is really Mike Haverty as a young man. But there's a pair of these. This is the Irish, and the second one is a Chinese worker, also a railroad worker. And this was done, Fraughton is his last name. Ed Fraughton was commissioned to do these for a railroad museum out in, I'm going to say, Utah. And I met him at a retreat and told him what a fan I was of his work. And he said, well, we have available this as a model, and so we were able to work with him to get a copy. We purchased it from him with funds from myself and from Mike Haverty. I believe that others of the other works in that bequest went directly to the Nelson, but this one came to the library itself, and is probably the most important of his portraits, and it's his self-portrait, and it's a featured piece in the Bingham collection at the Nelson.